Hello, this is J.A. McDonald, and we are back on the DAMT server for episode unknown. Basically, as you saw in time-lapse on episode 3, I think, I built this giant pyramid here. And now I've been outfitting it with traps. But clearly I want the other members of our server to run this thing, so I don't want to spoil any of the traps for them. So this video is going to be released after they run the traps. So this thing is going to be built in 4 different wings. Currently, well, 3 wings, I suppose, and the treasure room. Currently, I have the treasure room built but not outfitted, complete with hidden staircase. That will make it invisible from the outside before it is locked. Then, this door here will be closed until all 4 of these pressure plates have been pushed down at the same time, and then it will latch open. This hallway will be nice and well lit, and in here we will have a golden set of armor to kind of encourage a bit of rash behavior to trigger a double arrow trap there and there. Then in here we have a nasty cunning piece of work. We have sand here and a tripwire here. Now that might not seem like much, but this sand is currently held on too high grass. So I can break the bottom of the grass, and the top won't fall until it receives a bud, which I can provide with the tripwire hook, or the trip line here. I have a nice working demo of it. I can trip outside. Let's see here. It's right over here. See that? You can't really? That's the point. Anyhow, I'll just go down here and break that, and as you see, that sand is now floating on nothing. But if I step on it, it falls. So that's a particularly nasty trap I have all set up for the first few. Hopefully they'll hit it as a group because it's fairly far down here in a badly lit area. Then they'll drop. I don't think this is a lethal drop, but it might be. Then they just climb back up this ladder. And because there's going to be a giant pit here, the way back around it is up here. I hope they find that. But yeah, then in here we have a maze that they have to navigate in order to find a single lever in here somewhere. And that will open up the second zone. And I'll put a sign to that effect out front saying, like, find the lever or whatever. But yeah, that'll open up the gate. Yeah, so let me just backtrack my way out of the maze. There's no shortcut out of the maze. Probably a shortcoming of this design, but you know. Yeah, where is the exit of the maze? Oh man, that's a good maze. I got lost myself. Okay, let's see here. No. Here. There we go. Now I have to backtrack the rest of the way through the maze. But yeah, that's the first cell. Now the second cell, there's not many deadly traps in here. The second cell is going to have more traps. But since I'm recording this anyway, I think I'm just going to declare this section finished, except for a small bit of roofing here. I gotta grab some roofing supplies for that. Hang on just a moment here. They're down here in the treasure room, then out the back into my secret chest. Where's the smooth stone? There it is. I'm using smooth on all this inner wall because I think it looks lots better. It's a bummer there's no smooth stair. Okay, so we need to go over here. Ah, no. There we go. Then like that. And that's a good enough roof for now. If I need floor there, I'll add more material. Okay, so let's just trigger all of these very, very carefully. And make sure to close that gate because I won't be coming back through there because it will set off the sand. And I have to absolutely hit the bottom one. If I hit the top one, the whole system breaks. Just clear out this dirt here. And hopefully it will despawn while I'm doing the rest of the work. Also, hopefully no monsters spawn in there and trigger it. Then just seal up this exit. And I'm off. This is the line that goes to the other door. And this is the line that goes to the first door. It's a mess under here, but I don't care. How are you spawning down here? I was sure I lit this place up well enough that nothing could spawn in here. There. Here's the top of the maze, by the way. Not much to see. Anyhow, yeah, now I'll just start work on the second wing. And I will record another similar clip when I have built the second wing. So I will see you then. Okay, so now for the second pit of traps. Basically, once this door opens, you have these two gates here, so that you can keep these zombies that may or may not spawn in this hallway from wandering out here. Basically, it's not really necessary, but it has to be dark in here, so they don't wonder why there's not pressure plates on this side of this door, because this button here is hooked up to dispensers that fire a hailstorm of right now arrows, but for the final it will be fire charges, so this hallway will kind of be on fire, and I can't have them wondering why there's pressure plates, or not pressure plates. So then once you go through into here, there's this room. Now each one of these dispensers is full of various harmful splash potions, and the correct route is to match the pressure plate with what it's on top of. Now I haven't filled in the rest of the pressure plates yet, or the ceiling, because I figured I would do that after I film this clip so that I don't set it off during this clip. But you have to navigate your way through like this, or get hit with a splash potion. Or what Ghost may or may not do is just charge straight on across. Then over here, this one's fairly simple to explain. You grab out a bow from there, or I'll use my own bow, and you have to shoot all three of those buttons. There you go. So once you're in here, you have a little terrible challenge I made. Basically over here you have to get all three of these torches lit. At least I hope that's the assumption they make. But the problem is, so like this torch over here won't light. Neither will this one. But this one will. And then over here this one will, but this one won't. And there's no combination of which order you switch these in that'll make the center one work. It's just a little frustrating waste time thing. And then when they get tired of that, or when they finally notice there's this thing, which is a really awesome half slab sand trick that I saw in a video thing. I think it was a log.zip video. Basically it's just falling sand entities resting on top of fences. What was that? Oh, my arrows despawned. Okay, so anyhow, you'll wander through here. This gap will be sealed off, but that's something I have to do later. And you can hop out here, and there's this ladder back around to here. Yeah. So anyhow, then in here there's a little puzzle where this lever, or this pressure plate, no, this one here, opens up that, and then this one and that one opens up this one, which opens up the final gate. Then going through, you have to flip a lever to lock it. So I'm going to go back through and arm all these. Then you have to have 4 entities on this thing for this door to open. But as soon as you do, it triggers this this entire trap here. Now there's going to be a wither built right here and ready and waiting, and the assumption is that there's going to be skulls in there, but there's not. And if they look, there's not. But I'm hoping they assume it's a clever redstone thing behind it, because there is. There's also TNT down there, and 3 wires you have to cut. And there's a book over here which tells you the order to cut them in, but unfortunately parts of it are worn out. And if you go through this whole list here, it doesn't make logical sense. There's no way you can actually figure this one out. The correct answer is that green has to be cut first, but the first line says green can't be cut first. So, yeah, that's a little thing. But basically, as soon as they enter the door, it's going to count down a little ways, and then start a larger countdown with an alarm, and all these lights will start ticking down, and they'll be frantically going around trying to figure out how to disarm this. And then when the clock ends, the TNT down there is going to light, but there's water, so it's safe. This is gonna fire, but it's loaded with a note saying, "Would I really do that?" And then the door will open. And all of that is controlled by this complicated redstone mess laid out mostly on birch. Yeah, so that'll fire an alarm. Here's my incrementing countdown clock. Yeah, big mess. And then here's the piece of paper. It'll get fired into this dispenser, and then this dispenser will fire. And once that happens, this line of redstone here is connected over to these two doors, and they will open to the third level, which I haven't built yet. And it doesn't look like there's much room for it, but still. So I will see you once I have built that. So now for the third part. When you're done with the second part, this gate here will open. There used to be golden armor here, but this is after the maze was actually ran because, well, I had a problem with this this clip. Anyhow, upstairs here, it was dark, so mobs could spawn, but none did. And same story in this floor. It was kind of a lame third area. And you just fall down here into the water and you're in the treasure room, where there was 4 sets of enchanted diamond armor and 4 roughly equal chests of loot. They have now, of course, been looted, but you know, they used to be equal. And then there was a 5th chest of assorted knickknacks over here. That being said, when you're done, you just run over here and hit this lever on the wall and climb on out. And that's the end of the pyramid. So sorry about that this episode's out so late, but it's longer than usual. And now for announcements. Next week on the 4th at 8, we are having a live stream. We'll play assorted games, including Who's Your Daddy, and then we'll follow that up with the Ender Dragon fight on DAMT. Now that everyone has good equipment and such, and so on. And then we'll follow that up with some mini games if there's still time. So I hope to see you all there, and goodbye.